Welcome, gamers. It's been a while. I am Ian Detweiler. I'm here opening.
Hi, everyone. Gamers, board gamers, Magic players, whoever might be watching this video.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ian Detweiler. I'm here again with Myrtle Beach Games and Comics to open a box of Commander Legends with you guys today. Hope you enjoy. All right, we're going to break right into this real quick. In case you are not aware, the booster packs in this set have 20 cards in them. And I'm going to break down how the pack works as we get there. All right. So, first pack. Just going to go through. You're going to see a lot of reprints and some newer stuff in here as well. Interesting reprints, good reprints. So, we're getting the uncommons now. So, to get into how the pack works, you'll have 3 potential rares in a pack. 4 if you include the foil, if there is a foil in every pack. The 4th card from the back, you've got the normal rare, and you've got 2 commander slots. As you see, Hollow Keswick Rager is an uncommon partner, but goes in the commander slot. And then we got Yurlok of Scorched Thrash. He is a new commander that brings back an old mechanic of mana burn. Some people are more excited about that than others. We just flip through these and see what we find. Dragon Mantle is I feel like the reprint in every set that's supposed to be a good supplemental set. It's a solid card. Depends on the deck. Fiery Candidate. There is a pirate sub-theme for those of you who've been wanting to make that tribe. It's one of my personal favorite decks that I have put together. And as I showed, rare, Commander, foil. Nightblade's Harvester is great for your new elf players. Togo makes my favorite new equipment in the set, the Rock, which is equip the Rock. Throw the rock. Deal 2 damage to any target.
Gonna be some vintage rock, the most electrifying move, yes!
Mechanics they brought back for the set include the Monarch, which if you were around for Conspiracy, you'll remember as the mechanic that you draw an extra card at the end of your turn, at the beginning of your end step, if you are the Monarch. And when you are dealt combat damage, whoever dealt that combat damage gets the Monarch. Just flip through here. Iona's Judgment, nice solid draft card. Not sure if this makes the cut into your regular commander decks, but if you're running mono white, it's as solid removal spell as any. Oh, there's a mythic. That is Soulfire Eruption. These 9 and 10 mana spells on the mythic slot are all very interesting picks that you might want to be able to look into. So you'll see a lot of lore favorites and things that are mentioned in old Magic cards coming back. For instance, you have the Keswick Sisters, a matched pair. They help each other out and they have partner. So they can go with the old commander cards as well. So like your Thrasioses, your Bruce Tarls, your Ludvigs, which they're also hiding in the set as etched cards. If we pull one, I will show you what I mean by that. Next pack, we're looking, I'm gonna see if we can't find some of the nice reprints. Palace Sentinels, another card that becomes the Monarch, so we can start passing around extra card draw and make some interaction happen at the table. Ambush Viper, I love this card. Nothing feels better than them throwing a beater at you and blocking with a 2/1 that just kills the thing. Command Tower. Can't have a commander set without Command Tower. If you find yourself drafting the set, take it. Just take it. It's mana confluence with no downside. It's great. I like this guy. The one-sided haste enabler where they can't hit you with the haste, but they can hit everybody else at the table. That is a very red thing, and I very, very much like it. Here's another cycle of cards, the Wills. There are 5 of them, 1 in each color, and they are all very powerful if you have your commander out. For instance, Jessica's Will. You either get to add red mana for each card in a target opponent's hand, or you can exile the top 3 cards in your library and play them this turn. If you have your commander, you get to do both. Here's another partner commander, one of the familiars. There's another cycle they put in that's very nice, and they all have partner. And each one of them does something with your commander whenever a commander attacks, they do something. Another return to mechanic, Cascade. Averna the Chaos Bloom is a rare that she lets you pull a land out every time you cascade, which in those colors is very powerful. If you're cascading a lot and using the creatures that cascade a lot, you're going to be getting a lot of lands that you normally would just be passing by. which makes your turn 4 Bloodbraid Elf cascading and hitting like 4 lands that you needed, you at least get to pull one out. here? Champion of the Flame. Myrtle came back. Murder. Solid removal spell. Spectral Searchlight. It's the Darksteel Ignite. Lord. But you can choose a player to get the mana. So if you're at a table and somebody has a board wipe, but they just don't have the right mana, like if the blue-white player is just missing blue but has the white and they need to cast a Supreme Verdict, you can help them out with this Searchlight. Speaking of Cascade, they give a big boy 8-drop, just Cascade on a 7/7. I like casting 2 cards for 1, so this is a fun card. Return to Dust is a great removal spell. If you're looking for removal in white for artifacts and enchantments, this is fine. It lets you blow things up. If you cast it during May phase, it gives you upside. Thought Vessel, very good reprint. The Rejuvenating Springs is part of the second half of, if you remember the Battle Bond lands that gave, if you have 2 opponents, they enter untapped. They put the other half of the cycle in here, which a lot of us were looking for, so I'm very happy we get to see that again. Another Dwarf Artificer. He's cool. He gives double strike to equipped creatures. And here's the Blue Familiar. That, again, how they affect the commander. It makes spells that target your commanders cost 3 more to cast. And a foil Nightblade Harvester. Okay. So there's one of the 4 rares in the box. Let's see what else we get. We're about a third of the way through. Portent of Betrayal. Some of these cards, like Viscera Seer, great reprint, Charcoal Diamond, very good 2-drop mana rock, especially when you're getting into it and you don't want to throw money at a deck that you may not enjoy. Farhaven Elf. It's enough that lets you search for a land. It's a solid magic card. What do we have here? Plague Reaver. I'm not sure how I feel about this guy. If any of you guys find a build that works for it, let me know, because I kind of have a few of these, but it seems like a really cool card. It goes along with there's like a Rakdos sub-theme that passes cards around the table and punish your opponent for it. So it's really kind of cool. This is showing again 2 partners, 2 commanders in the last 2 slots. I appreciate that they did that, because drafting it would be a little awkward if you didn't ever find a commander. Doom Traveler, I actually forgot they reprinted that in this. Preordain, okay. And, like, as I'm flipping through this, there are cards like Path of Ancestry that you're gonna put in a lot of your commander decks, so they're good to hold on to. War Room, I actually like the fact that they put in cards that make the monocolored decks better. It's 3 mana, tap it, and then pay life equal the number of cards in your colors in your commander's identity and draw a card. So for your mono red deck that may not have a lot of card draw, this is a very good ad, because it's pay 1 life, draw a card, pay 3 mana. Sure, your hand's almost gone when you're playing red anyway, so 3 mana is great. And it doesn't get stronger for like a Kenrith deck with 5 colors. Paying 5 life for 1 card, not exactly the best thing in the world. They brought back my boy Kark the Thumbless. He makes you flip coins and either copies a spell or puts it back in your hand, depending on what the result of the flip is. So, fun card, cute card, synergizes well with the cards that have already been printed with his name on it, specifically Kark's Thumb. Prismatic Piper is a colorless commander that has the ability that at the beginning of the game you choose what color, and it lets you. It's for specifically the draft to let you fix what you drafted and make it work. All right. Continuing on. Omen Speaker, great magic card. Elvish Visionary, drawing a card for 2 mana in green is fine. 3-drop 1/1 flyer that gets +1/+1 counters every time it deals combat damage to a player. 3 visits, the Portals 3 Kingdom reprint. This card very much needed to get reprinted. It searches your library for a forest card and puts it onto the battlefield. It's Sylvan Scrying, but just Portals 3 Kingdoms, so it needed the reprint. Horizon Stone, for those of you who might be big green fans, big green mana, this is the second line of Crufix on an artifact. So if you don't want to be running blue-green, but you still want to do big green things, this might be a card you want to include. Tormod the Desecrator and Galanor Carl the Wildwood. Alright, not bad pack so far, especially for just being a third of the way through the box. Coastline Marauders. I'm gonna stop here because I actually really like this card. It's a 0/3 with trample, and it does have one of the new mechanics for the set Encore. But when it attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each land the defending player controls. So if you're playing this pirate deck and your opponent has like 8 lands, you get an 8/3. But it has Encore. For those of you that don't know, every spell that has Encore, you pay its Encore cost. For this instance, it's 6 mana. And you exile it from your graveyard, and you get a copy of it for each opponent. So you're going to Encore this Coastline Marauders and get a Coastline Marauders that can attack each opponent. And it's going to get +X/+0, where X is the lands each one of those opponents controls. Foilless Land of Bowmaster. Specifically, elves and pirates got a lot of love in this set, so if you are a fan of either of those tribes, you might want to pick up a box of this, because there's a lot of good stuff. Alright, Undying Rage, Runaway Together. At the Command Tower, I'm actually very happy with how many of these they're putting in, and how easy they're to find. Rex Sage, solid green removal spell. Alright, so we found the first one of the courts. This is a cycle, another cycle. They did a lot of cycles of cards in here, and I'm very happy about it. They enter the battlefield, and you become the Monarch. Again, talking about the Monarch at the card draw, but these cards specifically do something extra if you have the Monarch. In the case of Corn of Bounty, this one being one of the better ones in the courts, in my opinion. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you're the Monarch, you can choose a land or a creature. So again, big green puts this down. They have big things out. They're probably not likely to get hit, and they're getting a free creature every turn on top of what they're already doing. Nevernull, I'm sure that if you played Commander, you've run into Nevernull's disc. This is the disc on a stick. When he dies, you pay 1 and blow up everything, artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. But when he enters the battlefield, you make a tapped 2/2 zombie for every creature that died this turn. So if you pop his disc and then play him, you get a bunch of zombies that pop out with him. And then a foil one of the Spectator Seating, which is the red-white version of the Battlelands. I don't think they're actually called the Battlelands. I don't know what the official name for that is. If you guys want to comment and correct me, feel free. I just call them the Battlelands because they're Battle Bond. Preordain. Actually okay with the number of Preordains and Viscera Seers that I've been seeing running around. Lightning Rig Crew, again, pirate card. They actually made this go infinite with one of the partner commanders. If I find him, I'll show you. I'm actually going to set him aside real quick. Arcane Signet, definitely need a repill. Print. Oh, here's another one of the wills. This one's for Zat, and I'm going to butcher that name every time I say it. His is a 5-drop. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power they control. And then the other line is exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards, and you get a number of dudes equal to the greatest power exiled this way. So if you have playing against people who have graveyard-based strategies and you're running black, this might be another good thing to add alongside your Bajuka Bogs and your Tormod's Crypts. Continue on, another one of the familiars, and we have one of the 2 planeswalkers in the set, Jessica. We just had her earlier. She enters with a number of loyalty counters equal to the number of times you've cast a commander this game. She does have partner, and that does not just include her from the command zone. For instance, if you have a Thrasios or the 0-drop Kobold, if you cast him a couple times, she enters it with an additional 1 for each one of them. Her abilities are fantastic. She either picks a creature and they deal 3 times as much combat damage for until your next turn, or she deals X damage to up to 3 targets. So that doesn't have to be your opponents. That can just be 3 creatures that you need to kill. But she's a very, very versatile red card, which, as a red player, I love to see. Alright. I'm just going to kind of power through these real quick until I see something that's worth talking about. And if, okay. Middle of my sentence, Wheel of Misfortune. This card is going to wreak havoc on people playing nice with each other. It is the card Wheel of Fortune, except you play a mini game by betting life, and whoever bets the highest life gets the wheel and gets punched. Whoever bets the lowest life gets nothing, and whoever's in the middle gets to wheel as well. Wheel being discard your hand, draw 7. So it's a little bit of a gamble in the middle of the game where you might go, well, I can throw 3 life at this. Somebody's probably going to go less. Hopefully somebody goes more so I don't get hit, but then you get a new hand. Or if you don't want a new hand, you just bet 0 and you're fine. Here's another one of the Cascade Legends. It gives everything with spells that cost 6 or greater Cascade and has Cascade itself. Yes, you can have multiple instances of Cascade, as you can see on the big Hydra thing if we find it. It's got 4 instances printed on the card, and it can stack additional times. And here is one of the extra cards. I'm going to bring it up to the camera so we can actually see how good that looks. This is Togo. He's my rock boy. He's very good. It's very pretty. I'm a huge fan of that style of foiling. I just hope they don't turn it into a bigger cash grab than it already is. And going through the next pack. That might be the only etch card we've seen. I've been seeing 1 to 2 a box, so we'll see what else we get. Opal Palace, very good card for mana fixing. Well, I got the lottery ticket. Jeweled Lotus. This is a Magic card that's kind of highly contested right now. Some people say it's broken. Some people say it's all right. I'm in the school of, in the deck where this wants to be, it's a free Dark Ritual. It's a 0 mana artifact. So decks caring about artifacts are already going to want to run this because it's just a 0-drop artifact. Things like Urza, this is actually absurd because it gets ridiculous value in there. If your commander is monocolored, also just an auto include. If you can get a hold of one of these slotted in. You sacrifice the Jeweled Lotus and it gives you 3 mana only to cast your commander. So it is a little limited. 3, 4, 5 color decks probably are not going to want this. But it's another one of those cards that gives the 1 and 2 color decks a chance to be more viable, especially since if you look at like red and white decks, they don't have as much card draw, so getting their commander out that might be able to influence that better is going to be better for them. There are definitely some commanders that are going to break it. Urza being one of them, Crick possibly being another, I'm not 100% sure. We'll see how it flushes out. The rules committee said they're not going to ban it. I think I agree with that for now, but very good Magic card. If you think that you can use it, you probably can. Moving on though, Jared Cathelian. He's cool. He's actually cool. He's a 3-drop 3/3. He enters the battlefield, target opponent becomes the monarch, and you can't become the monarch this turn. I believe he is the only creature, actually I think he might be the only creature, the only card that I know of that gives the monarch to somebody else. Completely understandable based on what his second line of his second paragraph of text does. If damage would be dealt to Jared Cathelian while you're the monarch, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 counters on him. So if you were able to just become the monarch that turn and then Blasphemous Act, which you pulled already, you can make him a 16/16 for very little investment and clear the board. So I'm glad they made him balanced like that, but at the same time, I would look out for him in your pod because there's going to be shenanigans going on and it's going to be very fun. That might be one of the best packs I think I've opened so far of this set. Pirates Cutlass, like I said, lots of pirates, lots of elves, Imperious Perfect. We've got our General Spider that goes in every set. It does have Cascade. It is a 6-drop, so our little blue-green friend that we pulled a couple set packs ago that I cannot remember the name of to save a life of me, would let you Cascade. And when it enters the battlefield, it gives 3 +1/+1 counters on each of any number of target creatures that enter the battlefield this turn. So if you are playing elves and are looking for a payoff card to make your dudes a little bit bigger, might not be a bad idea. It is an interesting card to say the least. It doesn't say non-token, so if you're doing token strategies, it also works with that. I might be taking a second look at that later. Rograk, our lovely 0-drop friend. For those of you who have not seen a 0-drop spell before or did not play from with the flip cards from Origins or Shadows over at Innistrad, this symbol right here, this little dot, that little dot right there shows the color identity. So he is a red spell. He counts as red for his color identity. He's just a fun little gobbo that a lot of people have been brewing with. Well, kobold, not kobold. Goblin, excuse me. But he's fun. First strike menace trample on a 0-drop seems like a good time. Kangi Skywarder is going to be your Blue-Eyed Skies commander from the set. I personally slotted him into the one I'm working on, but we will see how that pans out. He might end up taking the helm. Alright, we are about 2/3 through the box. I'm talking a little too much about things that are not... Elvish Doomsayer. Okay, it is the black mirror to your Elvish Visionary. It makes each opponent lose carded value when it dies. And I thought it was draw a card. I should really be... reading these. Azure Fleet Admiral. It's a cool little pirate that lets you steal the monarch back because it can't be blocked by creatures the monarch controls. Here's another one of those cards with Encore. This one specifically I think is really cute with Whip of Erebos because its power and toughness are each equal to your life total, and it's got Encore, so it comes back in, and then if you can give it lifelink, maybe even double strike, it's going to smack for your life total, let you gain that much life for each one of them, and do really fun things. Kedis, he's the goodest boy lizard. Whenever a commander you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent as well. Boundary Inspector. Pick up your guides. You're going to want it because it's a good reprint. If you're playing a artifact deck especially, it is a good pickup to grab. Siren Storm Tamer. It is a reprint from, I want to say, Ixalan. It could be Explorers. It counters things that either target you or a creature you control, which is good for protection for your stuff. This is an interesting elf because it lets your opponent search for up to 3 lands, but you get one of them. So it's somewhere in the vein of Collective Voyage and Tempted Discovery, where it really depends on who you're playing with for whether or not this is a good card. But at the same time, it's not bad. They have to, like, I think, yeah, they have to at least go get 2. Otherwise, if they only get 1, you get it anyway. Might be fun with Opposition Agent. I'm not sure. All right, and then we've got our Unicorn for the set. Lathiel, the Bounteous Dawn. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, distribute that many +1/+1 counters to any other target creatures. So it can't buff itself, but it can buff everything else, which is really actually kind of cool. All right, Doomsayer. Humble Defector is a cute card. Goes in line with the Rakdos passing things around and having other players control your stuff. Right. We got a Undergrowth Stadium, which is the black-green version of the Battle Bond lands. And then big old pirate. He's interesting. I don't know if he's good. I'm running him. He costs 2 less for every artifact or creature you... Is it artifact or creature? Yeah, artifacts or creatures you sacrifice this turn, and you can sacrifice artifacts or creatures to make them cheaper. Obviously, Pirate's Treasure makes them really cheap. It's kind of cool. Cool little synergy, not sure if it's good. Intangible Virtue, your token decks, you're going to want one of these. Sometimes they're hard to find, sometimes they're not. Very much worth the pickup. Flamekin Herald. It is an elemental wizard that gives your commander spells Cascade. Just to point out that spells like Dargo the Shipwrecker, who he is a partner, he can be your commander. He is still a 7-drop if you make him cheaper. So he will still look for a 6-drop or under where he cascades. So that's kind of cool. Here's one of your elf ball creatures. Literally an elf ball creature, excuse me. Vigilance and Menace and Power and Toughness are equal to the number of elves plus the number of elves in your graveyard. On the battlefield and in the graveyard. So even if they've killed a lot of your elves, you've gone through a couple board wipes, he's still huge. And he's in the command zone. Rock is life. Rock is great. I also love how they tried to actually make it look like it's a majestic rock. It's not just a pebble. It's a rock. Going. We've only got a few packs left. Laboratory Drudge. At the beginning of each end step, draw a card. If you've cast a spell from a graveyard, an activated ability of a card at a graveyard this turn. So this is going to work with Unearth. This is going to work with Flashback. This is going to work with Encore. I was like, what's the mechanic from this set? There's a bunch of stuff that's actually really cool from this. More Prismatic Pipers. Those are about 1 out of every 4 packs. So when you're drafting, on average, you'll see 1. And if somebody doesn't take it, they'll definitely see it too. To actually talk about the draft for this, you take 2 cards out of each pack and you pass it around. That's why there's 20 cards in the set. So it's a little bit easier for you to make a set out of. And that way, if you get cool partner commanders in the same pack, you can actually just grab them. Metamorphic Expanse, card's great. Well, card's fine. Equipment with Cascade. 2-drop that equips for equipped creature gets +2/+2. Whenever a equipped creature attacks the player with the most life or tied for the most life, you create an extra 4/4 White Angel that's tapped and attacking. It's actually pretty cool, and it doesn't go around its turn. So, this little guy, Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, and Lightning Rig Crew. There's a card that was printed, and I don't remember the set, called Freed from the Real. Malcolm, whenever one or more pirates you control deals damage to your opponents, you make that much. You make a treasure for each opponent you hit. Lightning Rig Crew deals 1 damage to each opponent by tapping it. So you tap him, you make 3 treasure. Freed from the Real is a 3-drop enchantment that you pay a blue to untap target creature. So you're going to tap him, you're going to hit your opponents for 3, you're going to make 3 treasure, and you're going to be able to untap him. Can you just kill the table? I love stuff like that. It's very cute, it's very on flavor. And we did actually get another etched card. Okay, Elegeth Crossroads Augur. I personally like this card a lot. It is a 6-drop, so it's a little rough on the casting, especially in blue. But if you would scry a number of cards, draw that many instead. In blue, where you're going to be scrying a lot of cards, yeah, kind of powerful. Turning Preordain into Ancestral Recall seems fair. And we're just going to go through the last few packs here. Oh, never mind. I was about to say there's probably not going to be anything exciting, but we have Commander's Plate. It is a 1-drop equipment that equips to a commander for 3. An equipped creature gets +3/+3 and has protection from each color that's not in your commander's color identity. English is hard today, apparently. So if you put this on a 1-color commander, For instance, Rogark, our little 0-drop friend, he gets +3/+3 in Pro, white, blue, green, and black. If you put this on one of the colorless commanders that you can have, for instance, one of the Kozileks, they get protection from all colors, which is pretty powerful, especially for cards that are already hard to remove. Aroma of the Dead Tide, you can tap and exile cards from your graveyard equal to the number of opponents you have, and then target card in your graveyard gains Encore. So Dockside Extortionist, not in the colors, but like if you have this in the 99, Dockside Extortionist. If you are on color, Grey Merchant of Asphodel, anybody? I like making 3 copies of that. The last 3 packs. Burnished Heart, card's fine. Demonic Lore, I actually like this card a lot. It is black card draw. It punishes a little harder, and it is an enchantment, so it kind of sits there. But it's still a fine Magic card. Hull Breacher. Card's nuts. Card's nuts. It's a 3-drop with flash, a 3/2. If an opponent would draw a card except the first one they draw on each of their turns, instead you create a treasure instead. How this works is, if they were to preordain, and you flash this in response, they would attempt to draw 3 cards, and instead you make 3 treasure. Card's nuts. I love it. This has already gone in my Pirates deck and a couple of others as well. So far, very good box though. Find Horror Elves reprint, we definitely needed that, especially because the foil was a little ridiculous before this. Monstrous Onslaught, that's cute. It deals damage equal to any number of creatures. The amount of damage is equal to the greatest power of creatures you control. Training Center, we've got our red and blue Battle Land. I'm calling it Battle Lands. I know I'm wrong, but I'm calling it Battle Lands. And then we've got another lovely legendary who stands on his own, Arkelos Lagoon Mystic. He's really annoying, actually, because if you tap him, like for Springleaf Drum, perhaps, which produces mana by tapping a creature, other permanents enter the battlefield tapped. As long as you tapped, other permanents enter tapped. Lands, creatures, enchantments, artifacts. He slows everybody down. But if he's untapped, everything enters untapped. So you go and tap him on your turn, you play your turn, you tap him for Springleaf Drum. The rest of the table has to kind of slow down until they deal with him. I think it's great. He's a turtle. There's a rabbit in the set as well that their flavor texts are kind of talking to each other. It's really cute. Alright, let's just go through here and see what else is worth talking about. Fire Diamond, they did put the entire cycle back in there, so that's very good. This is actually an interesting card, especially for you Voltron players that like sticking a bunch of things on and try and make your thing as sticky as possible. Benevolent Blessing gives a creature protection from a specific color that you choose when it enters the battlefield. But it doesn't knock off any enchantment auras that are already there. So if you actually load something up and then you want to give it Pro Blue just in case somebody has a bounce spell, you can, and you don't lose the anything else that's on there that might be blue. Let's see what else we have in this pack. Staff of Domination. Okay, this is another card that is a solid reprint. Got some combo potential. I'm not going to go into the intricacies of that because that'll turn this into an hour-and-a-half video. But definitely a card to look into if you're trying to move into, as I like to call it, naughtier Magic. The combo players are fun. Another legendary pirate, but I've talked enough about the pirates in this set. If you're interested, you've probably already looked at them. I'm going to call it a wrap there. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my little commentary, and feel free to correct me because I do actually watch this and see what I got wrong. And if you guys have any interesting ideas about the cards in the set, feel free to talk about it. We play Commander every Thursday night and every Saturday night we have players, so if you are looking to get involved and get invested into the community, feel free to come on down. We are there most of the time, and honestly, we'd love to have you. Hopefully this set lets you get into, if you've been hesitating before, lets you get into it with a good pool, and hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and enjoying the holidays. Thank you so much.